Huron.
Good morning, everybody. We'll call to order our January 2nd, 2018 regular meeting of the Mason County Board of Commissioners. We'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Charles, if you wouldn't mind leading us.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If the clerk would please take roll.
Yes, Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
And Commissioner District 3, Terry Drexler.
Here.
Very good, thank you. Item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. 4.1, if the clerk would please report the correspondence.
Deborah Peterson, Wes Martin, and Casey Breeze sent in applications for the Mason County Transit Authority Board. Phil Wolf and Mark Carlson sent in applications for the TIPCAP Board. Jamie Barrickman and Brian Smith applied for the Planning Advisory Commission. The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent applications for the Girls Cafe on Lake Cushman Road in Hoodsport, the Summit Pacific Medical Foundation in Elma, and the North Mason Senior Grad Night in Belfair. Vicki Wilson sent a resignation from the Planning Advisory Commission, and Tamara Cowles sent in an application for the Noxious Weed Control Board.
Very good, thank you. Item 4.2, we have our selection of 2018 chair and vice chair. And if I recall from last year, I think we can just open up for nominations.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Netherland for chair in 2018. On the rotation purposes, I believe it's your turn, number one. Number two, look forward to your leadership here next year.
And I would second that nomination. Okay. Hearing, do you accept?
Thanks. That's a great question.
Well, I always want to give the opt-out option. Okay, any additional discussion on that? Call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. I will hand the gavel over to you.
All right. I was going to say, Mr. Chair, then shoot. My recommendation is that since the next turnaround would be Commissioner Jeffries, that we might nominate her for vice chair.
I would, if that's a nomination, I would second that. I will.
And I would accept the nomination.
I try not to do it from the chair, but it is okay to. I just try to do okay. Then consider that a nomination. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? You are vice chair.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we're going to go ahead and move for open forum for citizens' input. And first of all, I want to thank you, Commissioner Schutte, for all your hard work that you've done in this last year. You put into chair from the very beginning, and you definitely put in your hours in your work now, didn't you? It's a rough place to be at times, and the target is huge.
Well, sink or swim, right?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because there are people out there that think that there's something special about being the chair. The truth of the matter is it's a special target that you wear, and it's hard to carry sometimes. But thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
And I want to echo my appreciation as well. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
All right, so next up is our open forum for citizens' input. This is your opportunity to come and speak to the commission and, of course, the public, but we ask that you direct all comments to the commission from here on out for the year. And remember that this is an opportunity to speak about things that are not on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, we ask that you wait, come back at the time that it comes up, and you would give an opportunity to speak at that time. We also ask that you remember to keep everything courteous here. And remember that everybody is entitled to a very enjoyable workspace. So please, if you're interested in speaking to the commission today, we ask that you raise your hand, be recognized, and then address the commission itself. Jerry Eckerman.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jerry Eckenroad, 27210 North U.S. Highway 101, Hoodsport. And I'm here on behalf of iFiber News, KMAS, to extend an invitation. And this invitation goes not only to the Commission, but to the department heads and elected officials. Now that the budget has passed, Jeff and I had a discussion and would like to extend an invitation to each of the elected officials and department heads who had to modify or want to update the community on their service levels, because we know that some of the service levels have changed, and we'd like to offer that opportunity for you to communicate that to the public. So in that event, I'll reach out to the different department heads and extend the invitation and coordinate the meeting time or interview time live on the radio. It'd be on the Daybreak Show as part of one of our scheduled events. When we had an interview last week with Lisa Frazier, the treasurer, regarding the ability to take next year's or 2018 taxes off by prepaying them. It was pretty informative to the people, and also Lisa had hinted that there are some changes in her department as well in terms of human resources and hours of opening, because we all know with budgets and getting work done, we have to modify our processes and to get all the work that we need done. So the invitation is extended, and I'm just looking to keep you informed and ask for your approval.
Thank you, Jerry. Anybody have anything for Jerry?
No.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
And again, I'd like to remind everybody, please speak to the commission, not the cameras. Yes, please.
Good morning. My name is Charles Orthman, 324 West Cedar, Shelton, Washington. Today I want to do, in light of the fact that it's the first day of the new year, I'd like to go back and review some of the contact I've had with the commissioners in the past. I first met Commissioner Schutte when he was staffing the office for Drew McCune down on the railroad. I was homeless, disheveled, unshowered, unshorn, and just about every other you could think of. And I was warmly received by the commissioner. We talked about initiatives, referendums, and things that were his business of the day as Mr. McCune's assistant. Down the road a ways, I saw campaign signs spring up. Kevin wanted to take the place of Tim Sheldon, who was departing from the commission. So when the ballot arrived, I went to the Republicans in the Park, where I got a chance to hear Mr. Schutte, Mr. McCune speak. And I chose Commissioner Schutte as the next commissioner, and I'm looking back on the history he's had with the commission. I think I made a good decision. I first met Commissioner Drexler when she was campaigning as Terry Jeffries up on Mountain View. No blonde jokes today. I try not to use the same material twice. But I liked the blue-collar approach that you had to your campaign, and I went to the Republicans gathering or Democrat gathering in the park, and where I got a chance to hear her speak and talk to some of the candidates for office that were running at that time. And so when the ballot arrived again, I made a good decision in voting for Commissioner Jeffries, and you've done a wonderful job, and thank you for all your efforts while serving as a commissioner. And you were already in office by the time the Shelton Poverty Advisory Team came about, but I'd already seen you all over town doing all of the right things. So once again, when the ballot arrived, I thought I made a good decision in selecting you. I want to thank the commission for the wonderful job that they've done throughout their tenures, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
A little note, though, let's not make light of all the work you had done. I got to know you because of all the work you were doing. That's how I got to see you, and you were everywhere. And although I remember that you were homeless at that point, you were the hardest working homeless man anybody had ever met. And you had quite an impact, including, remember, the big porta potty push that you did. And
That wasn't the one. I must have taken 4 laps around the Colonial House the night of the Sparking Solutions campaign. I've never been in there before. I wasn't really dressed appropriately, but I really did want to see what Lynn Logan and the gang was up to. So that was a tough one, but I had fun. You might remember I introduced myself as Chuck the homeless guy. You know, no shame, no fear.
you worked hard.
Yeah. I really wanted to get in and find out what the future of Mason County held, and that's a key right there. So, thank you very much.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak to the commission at this time in regarding an issue not on the agenda? Hearing none, we will go ahead and move forward to the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move the adoption of today's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded for the adoption of today's agenda as presented. Any further considerations? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move the approval of the December 18, 2017 briefing minutes, November 28, 2017, and December 19, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of the December 18th, 2017 briefing minutes, November 28th, and December 19th, 2017 regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Next up is our approval of the action agenda. All items listed underneath the action agenda will be enacted by one motion unless a commissioner or a citizen requests that the item be removed from the action agenda and considered as a separate item. Because it is so small, I will go ahead and just read these through, and then we will ask if you have any questions. Item number 8.1, approval of the warrants. Claims Clearing Fund warrants number 8053299 through 8053758, amount $1,255,625.48. Direct Deposit Fund warrants number 46434 through 46808 for $649,136.44. Salary Clearing Fund warrants number 7003297 through 7003328 for the amount of $490,900.22 for a total of $2,395,662.14. Item number 8.2, approval of the hearings examiner's recommendation to approve road vacation number 395, vacating a portion of East Mason Lake Drive. Item number 8.3, approval to extend the contract with Bella Casa Cleaning Service to December 31st, 2018 for janitorial services for county facilities. The annual amount is not to exceed $95,000 unless modified pursuant to the contract. And item number 8.4, approval of the 2018 Long Range Planning Work Program. With that being said and read to the public, are there any items that you might have questions with first? You have a question?
8.4.
Would you like that removed, or you have a question that would help you make that decision?
No, I'd like to remove that.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, are there any other items other than 8.4 that you would like removed? Commissioners? I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move the approval of items 8.1 through 8.3 on today's action agenda.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of the action agenda, item 8.1 through 8.3. 8.3, 8.4 has been removed for a separate vote. All in favor, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8.4, approval of the 2018 Long Range Planning Work Program. Paula, would you like to give a brief presentation of what we're talking about?
Good morning, Commissioners. As you know, annually, at the end of each year, beginning of the year, we present a proposal for a long-range planning work program. These are the items that will shape the docket that will come before you at the end of May 2018, hopefully. In addition to the items placed on here by the Board of County Commissioners, Planning Commission members have proposed several items, and planning staff. The top sort of main items of the work program include the water system plan that was discussed in the context of our comprehensive planning work that was adopted this year in 2017, or last year in 2017. Second item is joint planning work with Shelton and Mason County, including rezone efforts associated with the Dayton Airport Road Commercial Industrial Area, known as the Darcy, and sort of a reassessment of countywide planning policies and goals that are shared between Shelton and Mason County. Third item is the joint housing study that would assess our housing needs and housing stock. And then fourth item is comprehensive plan amendments proposed by the public that might include rezone requests or things like that. We also have development regulation amendments such as the Belfair Sign Code, public benefit rating system discussion, countywide code violation transitory housing discussion, water planning code development associated with that water plan that was mentioned before, and some more administrative type items like GIS system development, ongoing education sessions for the Planning Commission, development of a historic plan library like a wiki for our historic plans, and then an anticipated request that might come along during the course of the 6-month period there. So that's it in short.
Great. Any questions for staff before? Comment?
Yes, codes are my trick thing. I researched them, and going back to 1897, the federal government, the fire code, stipulates they supersede all codes that are down. And thank you for the water code and the sign code. And I will be paying close attention to that.
Excellent.
Because I really do, the federal, the state, the county code changes dating back to 1897, and the new codes by the fire department supersedes all the previous codes. So, and codes are my trick. I mean, I research codes all the time.
Thank you, Conley.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for the staff? Yes.
Paula, the public benefit rating system was on the comp plan update docket last year and had a public hearing on September 18th. I was curious how many public comments were received? If you
We
recall.
received your comments.
Right.
Right.
Were there others?
There were not.
That hearing was tabled until October 16th. And October 9th, the PAC had a special meeting and it was pulled off the docket.
The agenda?
The public benefit rating system was pulled off the docket at that special meeting on the 9th, and so it was never heard again on the 16th.
Do you have a question? Or?
Yeah. Why was that pulled off the?
I think that the commissioners desired, I may not speak for them, but my understanding is there was a desire for more information and additional public outreach, a little bit more research, and kind of developing the discussion a little bit more with the public.
So, I have another question. Did the PAC have another work session on the public benefit rating system on November 20th?
I'd have to go back and look at agendas to be sure, but I think they did discuss it.
After it was pulled off? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? All right, commissioners, any questions? Hearing none, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and open it up to public testimony. Is there anybody who'd like to testify at this time? Please, Ken.
Thank you, Commissioners, and thank you, Paula. I'm a party of record on that public benefit rating system. I came and testified, or I submitted written testimony to that September 18th meeting, and I brought a copy that I'd like entered into the record of that. And at your last meeting, last month, you were, I appreciated the fact that you had pulled it off the consent agenda and tabled it until today, because that's what had said was going to happen. And I gave you some additional information, but you had a pretty full agenda last month, and I hope that you've had time to look at that material. To be perfectly frank with you folks, I have concerns that this is being brought back to the PAC again too soon. I feel that the PAC chairman is prejudiced, biased towards this matter, and he's made comments in open public meetings that there's too much open space. It appears that he's had discussion with a quorum of this board, and he's already made up his mind. I'm of the opinion that the current way that the county deals with open space, ag land, and timberland, and how it's applied for and approved is working. It's just a matter that the assessor needs to enforce it better, what we already have. The county looked at the public benefit rating system 10 years ago, and it didn't adopt it. If that's the way that you folks elect to go with a public benefit rating system, I'd like to suggest that a better venue for this matter would be to establish an advisory committee made up of members of the timber, ag, and open space community, and that they establish or tailor a public benefit rating system criteria of our own, not a boilerplate taken from wherever they take those things from. That's if you elect to go with a public benefit rating system. But I surely want to be involved with the conversation, and I intend to come to whatever meetings that I'm informed about as I requested to be informed. So thank you for your time.
Anybody have any questions for Mr.? Okay, thank you very much. Ken, I just wanted to let you know that in actuality, though, that's one of the reasons why we asked to send it back, was so that we will take a look at it. We will look at our own formulas instead of just boilerplate formulas. That's why it was sent back, and the whole idea is to have further discussion, not to approve it. This just sets the agenda. That's all this does. So, all right, anything further, any comments, or I will entertain a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move the approval of item 8.4, approval of the 2018 Long-Range Planning Work Program.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of the 2018 Long-Range Planning Work Program. Any discussion?
I think this is a good program. I think that the public benefit rating system issue itself needs a tremendous amount of public outreach. However, it is or is not working. I think what needs to be acknowledged is that to give somebody a tax exemption or tax reduction based on a perceived public benefit, we need to be very clear what the public benefit we're trying to achieve. And right now, it's a function of, it's not as clear that the public is truly benefiting from the tax break that is being received. And so I'm very much in favor of being very judicious about applying a litmus test, so to speak, or a threshold of a public benefit in especially the open space areas. And I thank staff for bringing this forward. I like this approach very much. This is a new approach in my experience here, and it gives certainty regarding what we'll be taking on next year, and I do invite the public to take advantage of the opportunity for the public submission process.
Any further comments or a motion?
I think we already have a motion. But I would just say, appreciate staff, your effort, Paula and Dave, putting this together. I think it's good to have that cohesion and that work plan and how we're going to move forward. And this was an item, the public benefit rating system was an item that fell onto our radar this time last year in conversations is when we had our commissioner retreat at the beginning of 2017 to develop our own work plan for 2017, and was an item that we had a couple of conversations with amongst the commission, with staff, with the assessor's office, and so we're already now looking at a multi-year process, for going forward with looking at what next steps are for something like this. And so I do think that this is the right direction to move in terms of public outreach and having ample opportunity for folks to engage on the issue. And so I appreciate staff bringing it forward and look forward to a robust conversation in the community.
And I would agree. When it was brought forward to us, we wanted to have more input, but we also saw that there was so much that you could fall down and get an exemption and still not actually be a benefit to the public. The whole idea was for there to be, if you're going to get the tax exemption, that it have some greater benefit than just that you got a tax break on it. And it was so easy because it covered just about everything. So as a commission, we had looked at it and thought we needed to dive into this a little bit deeper. And luckily for us, we have staff that is not afraid to do the hard work that it takes to get us there. And so instead of just approving it, we decided we're going to go through a much longer, harder process to make sure it's done right. And actually, that was no small part because of Commissioner Drexler's notice of how easy it was. That brought it more to our attention that we need to look at it further. With that being said, is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. All right. Next up is other business, item number 9, department heads or elected officials. Are there any department heads or elected officials who would like to speak at this time? Yes. Oh.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Wyndham, Community Services. Last week, we signed a contract with Paladin Industries to do our software that will allow us, by the end of the year, to do online permitting. So people will be able to do their septic system permits, building permits, all those things will be able to be done online. And the goal is to really take a lot of the very simplest ones, the re-roofs and windows and decks and all those things that take up staff time at the front counter, move those online. People will be able to submit their plans, pay their fees, track their permits, get their permits, print their permits online. And it'll save up that space, that staff time for the people who really need to sit down and work through some of the bigger issues of planning and building permits. So we're excited. We're going to have a meeting with Paladin in the next couple of weeks, get the timeline set for the year. Probably the slowest process is going to be integrating our old system into the new, do all that data transfer, but once that data transfer is done, we should be rocking and rolling by the end of the year. So for us, it's really exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely well done. This is huge for our community. One thing I was thinking though is we need to probably have a briefing and start to come up with some type of a marketing plan, because it's wonderful to have such a tool. Now the next part is to get them to know that tool exists before they come to the counter.
Right, right. And that's going to be part of the whole process with Paladin. Kitsap uses the same software, so we have a neighboring county that we can call and ask questions and run over and look at. And we've already sent staff over to Kitsap to watch them work the software and see the process. And I think it's going to serve Mason County very well. And it's going to have a good cost-benefit ratio once we get this thing up and running.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Can't overstate how important and exciting this is for the county. This is a big step forward for us, and Paladin is a somewhat local company as well. I know they're up in Kitsap County is where they're based, and so they have extensive experience working with local government and state government as well, and so I look forward to you rolling that out, and I think it's a huge benefit for our community.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other department heads or elected officials? Hearing none, we'll move over to item number 10, of which there are no hearings at this time. So item number 11, board reports and calendars. Commissioner Schutte, would you like to go first?
Please, thank you. So after our meeting today, we have some briefings this morning, and then I will be getting caught back up on email and things from over the holiday. Tomorrow, Housing Authority Board is meeting, and so I was asked to stop into that meeting, and will gladly do so as they continue to reorganize and move forward. Rotary later this week, and then I am meeting with the Gates Foundation as well, and then back here on Monday for briefings.
Commissioner.
So let's see, last week I did come in and try to get through some of the paperwork and do some archiving of 2017 documents. I did also have the opportunity to meet with our newest city council member, Kevin Dorsey, and reviewed some of the things that we had started to do together as a city county, and then shared with him some of the things I hope that we can continue to move forward on. And then after today's meeting, we'll have the briefing. I will be attending the Port of Great View's ribbon cutting, so to speak, or the shovel groundbreaking, that's the word, of their new dock improvements. And I'll be meeting with Congressman Derek Kilmer, meeting with Scott Brewer from the Hood Canal Coordinating Council, and then back here for briefings on Monday the 8th.
Okay, so we, of course, we had our holidays. At our EDC hiring committee meeting where we interviewed some very, very interesting and great candidates. A couple of them really stood out. I was pretty excited. It came out better so far than I was even hoping for, with the amount of knowledge and experience that some of these bring. So it's looking very good. for that position. I also have been dealing with some certain issues over the Belfair Parade. There was a flagger that was there at the time who noticed we had an issue where the fire department got a call, but luckily they went the other direction. So they're asking for us to put together some type of safety protocol to teach the people in the parade and show them that they need to move to the right if there's a safety vehicle, because there's no other way to go. They'd have to come through there. Spoke with the fire department, and they're already working on it, as well as our staff at Roads who've been brought in, and they're looking to put together some type of GIS that will show a picture of them moving sideways, have it at the entrance of that parade when they start to go out onto the road, and further comments with those that are working the teams to make sure that they tell their people. Phone conversations with developers over the week. Had a left board meeting, and I also met with one of the commissioners of the city afterwards. We have our briefing after this. I will also be attending the boat ramp ribbon cutting in Greatview there. I have an ARC meeting, and then I will be meeting with the director and his staff of ARC out here in Mason County to talk about and look over our area for different things that they may be able to offer us to work with our children of special needs out here. Women Republican has a luncheon, and that brings us back to briefings and our regular meetings. All right, anything further to come before this commission?
I do want to, since you're talking about the economic development recruitment effort, council recruitment effort, we do have a vacancy on the Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Board that normally had been held by the EDC director, and I just wanted to get the commission's opinions about whether we should just hold that open. Our recruitment effort there we have we have 3 seats for business related or business owner positions. One is being held by a shellfish grower, and the other one by Simpson Door Company. No, I'm sorry, SPI. And then this third one normally had been the EDC director. Gentlemen, do you think we should go out for recruitment on this, or should we hold it for the EDC director?
My opinion, for the ones that I just got done interviewing, I would hope that position will be available if we select one of these people, because that's, oddly enough, that's probably the majority of where they think that they want to do some work here to help us move forward. And I agree, that's one of the places we need the work, is for work readiness here at the county. So other than that, you actually sit on that committee. I would defer to your desires on that.
I would concur with Commissioner Netherland. I think without knowing who might fill that spot at the EDC, I might be interested in just holding off a little bit longer, and unless there's somebody that you have in mind that would be a good fit. I'm very interested to see who's going to take that role, and so I think I would defer until then.
Okay, I'll let the director know that we're just going to hold that position open. I don't think there is an issue with quorum.
Anything else come before this commission? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Hearing no objection, we are adjourned.